There's the composters. They have to come down to finish the fence. The fence was built last year by myself and our neighbor. We did an all right job, I think. We've just got that bit left to do, but the composters have to be moved first for that to work. We'll have a look at what's coming up. I've got daylilies coming up and tulips. The hens got out earlier in the year and they did a number on everything, but it looks like it might survive. As you can see, I have no grass. I free-ranged the hens for a few years and they ate everything. So now I'm trying to reclaim it, spreading lots of grass seed and clover. That's my cedar. It looks harsh after the winter, but usually by midsummer it's all green and full and happy. And that's the chair that a chair my dad made me. It needs a fresh coat of paint, and the lovely garbage pile behind it, that's all to go to the dump. And there's the pond. Lou and I dug the pond probably about 3 or 4 years ago, and as you can see, it needs to be topped up and some leaves pulled out. I've cleaned most of the garbage out, and coming up around it now is some daisies and pond grasses. I've got some mint and thyme and chicks and hens. Look at that lovely chick and hens. Chicks and hens? Chicks and hen? Anyway, they're a succulent. They handled the winter well. Oh, it looks like I was trying to get my new rose, climbing rose. I believe it's called a golden shower. And my hydrangea. The snow sort of beat it all down this year, so I'm going to cover up all these branches that are down on the ground with earth and hopefully get it to spread out a bit more. And there's a climbing wild rose that's survived the winter. I use an old rake to prop it up against. And some wreaths. A friend of mine and I made Christmas wreaths this year, and I kept the frames of them because I thought they'd be lovely to use in the garden. And my broken clothesline. I've got to get that back up. Some things I planted here last year. As you can see, that's Sweet William. Not very happy looking. Those are snapdragons that were coming back until the birds got out and chewed them over. Daisies and things. This is a neat thing. It's a sculpture made by my friend Mike Flaherty of yours truly. Oh yes, I thought that was a primrose. I don't think it is. I think it's maybe butterweed. Anyway, the sculpture that my friend Mike did of me long ago. Wish I had that body still, but, you know, with my head still attached. I usually just put the head in the lap because if not, it blows away. But she's pretty morbid looking, isn't she? Little strawberry growing in there. And that's one of my planting stations that I've set up. And the fire pit. I built the fire pit last year out of just rocks that I've dug out of the garden and bits of broken pottery and terracotta. And fire's almost out there. I like to put in a fire when I'm in the backyard. And there's the old lattice. So that was up covering the chain link fence, but it didn't survive the last hurricane we had last fall. So now we're back to the ugly fence. I think, though, I've got all these branches and tree trunks that I've saved over the years, and I might run them horizontally along the fence there. And just for some interest, the trees fill out pretty well. It's all green, and we get bindweed up the back fence. So just another something to sort of hide the chain link because it's not very pretty. And there's my wild strawberry bed that I put in last year. Hopefully it works. And yes, I've got a thing for hanging teapots. Sometimes you get birds in them. There's an old boy. And a beer bottle someone chucked over the back fence, so I stuck it on a dying branch. And this is a little cubby corner back here. We come back here to hide away. Lots more branches. I collect everything. I keep everything in the garden. If I find it dug out of the dirt or fallen from the trees or everything, I keep it all. It's all useful. It's a good place to hide away from your family when you want to be by yourself. It's back in this corner, out behind the chicken coop. And there's a teapot or a kettle hung in the tree. We do have rats, unfortunately, so we've tried a few different ways of getting rid of them. The only thing that seems to work is the poison. It's not my favorite thing, but it will destroy your garden. Chicken coop. You can't really have much around. Sorry, I'm making all kinds of noise here on my voiceover. Here is the coop and my birds. So we've got 3 hens. We've got a Newfoundland Heritage Bantam. She's the one closest to you there with the fluffy butt. And the 2 others are Rhode Island Reds. Their names are Lola and Pico and Rose. So they're the T sisters, those 2 back there. Back around the corner there is where their water is. The coop and the run need a bit of love. Winters here are, we get a lot of snow and wind, and often the garden in the spring needs quite a bit of work. Yeah, so you've got Rose on the right and Pico on the left. And we'll have a peek in here now. This is the hutch where I like to collect the eggs, because this box here was the nesting box, but then they decided to start pooping in it. So now they lay over there in the corner. You can see an egg there waiting. And those are some of the wreaths, the old wreaths that we had made, and I tossed them in there because the girls like to eat the needles and poop on them, obviously. I should probably have turned off the radio before I started recording. You might be able to hear crosstalk in the background. I put a bunch of hay on the ground this year because it was so mucky back there, and the hay absorbed it and it didn't sink into the mud. And this is my wood store and my winter snow shovel store. I save, every year we keep our Christmas tree, we toss it back here, limit down, and use it for firewood in the fire pit. And as you can see, I'm hard on shovels. Well, not sure what this is about. Terrible camera work. Hopefully I get better. And you see the wire hanging there. That's the extension cord to the coop. This winter stopped working. So when the snow was really deep, I had to come out and just temporarily rig up a new extension cord. So now I've got to get that run along the ground again. And this is all my planting stuff. my gardening stuff, my rotting picnic table. The pickle jars I use as mini greenhouses for when starting plants in the garden. We get frost 12 months of the year here, so sometimes I'll just plop a glass bottle over my sprouts and growing things, delicate things, and it saves it from the frost and gives it a little bit of protection. I'll show you here on this weed. Basically, that's what I do. And the plants thrive. I don't think I was going to leave that one there, though, because if you noticed in this video, if you look around at all, you can see the wind is blowing. That'd be over in no time. There's pots back there and my watering cans. Very sad. This picnic table we've been using it for 15 years. It's starting to rot away. This is the shed. It's supposed to be a studio. It was a studio for a while, and I was unable to get it finished on the inside, ran out of money. So that's a project that hopefully we get back to and get it fixed up. In the meantime, it is a shed. It holds boxes and recycling. For a little while, there were 2 baby chicks in there, so pooping on everything. And this is our yard. So this is, I'll do this somewhat regularly, and hopefully you get to watch the progress of the garden grow.